You're running advertisements for your business and you're getting leads, but the leads aren't converting. Today, we're going to zoom in on this process and I will show you exactly what you can do to take the leads from the moment they responded to your ad all the way to booking in a full sales consultation with you or your team. So maybe you've been running these ads for months now and you thought that, well, I'm getting good leads, so I should probably see actual results from this. Unfortunately, that's not the reality. We need to put ourselves in the shoes of the customer when he's going through this advertisement process and experience. So, when he's scrolling on his phone and he sees your ad pop up, he sees your creative, your copy, he clicks on this form. That's where you have questions that you can ask him. You can ask him his contact details. And when he clicks send form, that's when you get that data. But if you don't do anything with that data, you just have a bunch of leads, a bunch of data lying around that you can't even do anything with. So it's just important to have a good process for following up on the leads than it is to have a good strategy for getting great leads in the first place. So what do most marketers do for this? We call up the leads within the first 5 minutes because that's when we get the highest chance of getting them to actually pick up the phone. There will still be people that don't pick up the phone, especially if you wait too long. You're going to have to follow up on them more. That's why we try to do it within the first 5 minutes. There are also alternatives you can use, like SMS, email, WhatsApp. There are also chatbot automations that actually work, but usually you'll see the best results from actually calling them up in person. And you need to understand also the effect that this has on the customer, because if he's just reading your advertisements, he's like, okay, well, I'm seeing some things here, but he might not know what's behind this. If he is actually getting messages from you, and if he's actually getting you calling him up, then he's like, oh, there's an actual person behind this business, or there's an actual system behind this business. There's like a process they have for me to become their customer and for me to use their service. So that gives them a lot more trust than where it's just to be something random they see on Facebook. So, okay, great. But how do we actually follow these leads? Well, you dial in your phone, but obviously you're going to have to need some kind of a strategy or some kind of a system for converting them. You might want to use a script, or you at least need to have an idea of what you're going to do. The first thing that's important when you're calling and your prospect is picking up, is that you are assertive and that you take control. Well, why is this important? Because you're just a random guy, and if you don't take control, they're going to be like confused and like, why are you calling me? And you need to show that there's a reason that you're there. That's why we take control and we're assertive in a good way. So for example, what you could do is when this person picks up, person says, hello, you say, good evening, is this Maria? Yeah, this is Maria. Oh, yeah. Hey, this is Bert from Hey, this is Bert this is Bert from Ultra Fitness. Does that name sound familiar? Yeah, I think I filled in a form on Facebook for that. All right, great. Do you have a minute so I can give you some more information? You know, most of the time they will say yes. Some people, they might need to go. Do what you can to keep them there within reason. Within reason. So then you could go like, great. I see that you wrote here on this ad on the form that they sent that you would like to lose some weight and that you would like to get a bit stronger. Could you tell me a bit more about that? So then they might tell you about that. And this is where we change from the intro to probing questions. Great. So now we're on the phone with our prospects, and they've just started telling us about the reason why they clicked on our ad and the reason why they're interested. So now it's going to be important to keep this conversation running and to get information out of them, to empathize with our prospects on their situation, and also to qualify them a little bit of, are they actually the right person, and a little bit of why they're actually interested. So it's going to be important always to ask more clarification and to have questions that you can ask to dive deeper into the problems and to probe a little bit of why they're there. So you might ask, like, okay, well, how is that going for you? Have you ever done anything like this before? Well, how is that? Have you ever done any sports before? So if you say that you would like to lose weight, have you been thinking about that for a while? Or if they say that it is just started about it, then you might follow up with them. Well, what's the reason then you're actually interested in personal training if you've just started thinking about that? Can you maybe tell me a little bit about how that grew for you, how that came to be? You just keep asking them questions in the best way that you can, because you need to get them, first of all, to explain why they're there. And also, it's important that you have good rapport with them, that they see you as an expert and they see you as someone they can trust. So that's very important in this phase. Great. So the prospects just told us about their situation. Now it's time to pitch. So this is like a mini sales consultation. We first introduced ourselves. This might take 30 seconds. Then we've probed their situation. We've clarified what they're dealing with. This might take 2-3 minutes. Now it's time to pitch. So we explain what we do, and we explain how it's going to be great for them and how it's going to solve certain pain points that they have. If you want to free flow this, you can, but I think it's good to have to think about how you're going to approach this. If you're a personal trainer, you might say something like this. So in the meeting, we will sit with you more in detail so we can discuss your goals better. Then we will work out a bespoke training plan so that you always know exactly which exercises to do. We will guide you on your form and your technique so that you don't injure yourself. And we will make sure you do the exercises in the right way so that you can see results better and faster. Next to that, should you ever have any questions for us, that's always welcome. And if you ever have any bad day, we will always be there to coach you so that you can see the best results possible. Is that something you might be looking for? So now you give it back to them. And if you've done a good job until now, usually they will be at least moderately excited. If you've done a good job, hopefully they will be actually excited. And now it's time to book in an actual consultation with them. So it's just important that you clarify everything, that you explain everything, and that you double check with the customer that he knows everything, he knows where to go, and especially that the timing, the date, and the time works out for the customer, and that he doesn't have anything else to do. So that's how you schedule this consultation. Now that you know this process, as soon as you implement this, you're going to start seeing that your results improve. You're going to have more bookings. People will probably start showing up to your meetings, and you'll probably also start getting more customers as well. But unfortunately, it's not as simple as just knowing what to do. It takes a lot of practice to really become good at this. You need to know how to manage your tonality. You need to be able to express yourself properly. This just takes a lot of practice. You will see the more you do this, the more you get better at this. But even though you will see results right away, you will probably still face some challenges. It might be difficult at some times. and you might even get like really annoyed or frustrated at sometimes. So unfortunately, that's the reality of things, but I will give you some advice on what you can do to actually make this process more enjoyable for you and that you can see results a lot faster. So it will be important that as we go through this full process, in the beginning, it's good to use a script so that you know what to say. As you get more experience, it will be important that you become less robotic as you say the script. You become more natural. That everything you say feels great. You believe in it, and you can say it with conviction. If you can't, maybe you need to change the script. If you notice that people aren't responding to the scripts, you might need to change things around, especially in the intro. Um, you also need to understand you need to become confident at taking control of the conversation, especially in the beginning. So, you might feel guilty of doing that, but it's important that you learn to do that, because if you don't, you're not providing a good experience for the customer. You need to take him through a journey to become part of the service. Um, Also, it will be important that you learn to empathize with your prospects as they are talking about their situation and their problems. You'll need to provide a safe space for them. So, what you can do for that is, your mindset needs to be right, but also your tonality does a lot. If you can just say, like, I understand, things like that go a long way. Like, you don't need to feel like they are dying or something like that, but you always need to give them the feeling that you care enough about them, and that you can create that space for them. It will also be important that if you see that your follow-up strategy is not working, you've tried things for several weeks, 1-2 weeks, still nothing's working, you'll have to change things up. Don't do this too soon, but don't wait long for this, because otherwise you're wasting money. You need to find out what kind of issues you're having in the follow-up process, and then well, maybe you need to change some things in the advertisements. Maybe you need to qualify them more on the form or on the landing page. Maybe you just need to change your scripts. So figure out what you can do here. As soon as you implement this and you know what to do, you'll start seeing results right away. You'll start seeing that you'll get more bookings. You'll start seeing that the meetings that you have, actually people show up to those meetings. And you might already see that you get more customers as well. Now, if you practice these things and you take time to actually become good at the things that I taught you, you will see it might take some time, but eventually, calling up the leads will be easy. You'll know exactly what to say, what to do. Getting to them in the first 5 minutes will be a habit. You'll know how to schedule them in. You'll know how to get great leads over here. So it will be just a matter of time, and then your business will grow a lot. You might see that your mindset on how you deal with customers will become better, and you might start to think more like a real entrepreneur. Be sure to check out my next video where I teach you more about sales strategy. And if you like this video or you learned something, feel free to like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you next week. Ciao.